there was a lot of disconnects. There was a lot of a bunch of different errors that we had throughout that game. So hopefully this one will be without error. I am always butt frustrated.
We know that we noticed that as the game went on, there were less problems. I'd say after about halfway, 2/3, we didn't really have any issues anymore. I think they figured out problems with Skype. Now they're hopping in Vent. I don't know. They're doing all kinds of crazy things right now. But sometimes you gotta do crazy things.
Gotta do what you gotta do. Incendiary Spade's calling for a 5-some at my house. I'm down.
Yeah, dibs on that.
We might have to make it bigger than a 5-some.
Nope, just 5 people. And we already have 3.
We already have 3, so we're looking for 2 more.
Any other
2 more
takers?
takers. I have my dog Peapod.
The Damned is in, and Darkness Dragon, can you join?
There we go. There is a 5. Noobs will own you. The score is 1-0. It was a Team Niger that won the first one.
Niger, yes.
And Team YoloMid did make it pretty close, but they did end up falling, and we're waiting on game 2 right now.
Yep, we had a little bit of discombobulated
dog, I will get the dog, Jedither, just for you. I'll be right back. Hold on.
His dog's name is the most fantastic dog name ever. I'm gonna let him tell it to you guys. It's pretty sweet. So we're gonna wait for him to get the dog. Mine are too big for camera. So, I want to let you introduce our special guest.
Our special guest.
Who's the best name ever?
His name is Peapod. He just is a Peapod. He probably could cast better than I could, but the dog for the 5-some, he'd be down. He'd be down for that. He'd just be chillaxing. So there you go. There's yes.
Yeah, he did. He does like to share things. He shared your toothbrush the other day, I recall. So
he did. I actually have it around here somewhere. He bit the whole top of it off. So there wasn't much brush to brush with, but yeah, he probably could cast a little better than I could. He's now checking out the garbage, so we'll let him go have his fun. I do have another one, another dog as well, but she is quite the diva already, so she doesn't need any camera time. But I am ready. We're actually getting Hectic saying that he is ready as well.
Yeah, they were waiting. The Hectic's team was having issues because he couldn't be in Skype, so they're all getting into Ventrilo, so they're setting up, sharing information.
Classic Peapod. What, you want back up, bud?
You know what is actually hilarious is that is something that Slick often tells me. That is classic Peapod. I've heard that plenty of times, so it's funny that you would say that because, yeah.
He is now on my lap. He will be watching the game. And he says, say no to drugs. That's what he says.
Are you sure he says that?
Yes, that's exactly what he says.
Isn't that like Scruff McGruff's thing?
No. It is.
Wait, Scruff McGruff's probably dead. Dogs only live to be like 12.
He oftentimes says, say no to drugs, but he always says, I said no to drugs, but they didn't listen. That's his common phrase.
It's just, everybody else is doing it. It's the social casual.
I just lost half my viewership by
Peapod is an outstanding. Yeah, the Dan points out they are college kids in Cincinnati. So say no to drugs in the ghetto, is what I would say.
That's true. Sorry. You only say no to drugs if... Well, okay, we don't have to say no to them.
You probably shouldn't say no to drugs in the ghetto. They might die.
At least question it.
Incendiary Spade is going to devour souls this game. Heard it here first. New meta.
Well, we saw him devour quite a few souls last game. Do you think they're going to let him have his Fiddlesticks or no?
They might be tempted to because he had a rough start. So they might be tempted like, hey, we could really shut him down. He had a rough start this past game, but I don't think they should. So who knows?
Catholic said that he's playing the Peapod drinking game. What is the Peapod drinking game is what I want to know. Me and Peapod would like to know.
Apparently, he said that his team was being jerks, and they forced him to play passively at the beginning. So
Who is Bro B?
we're in a champ select now. I was told also that I'm allowed to make fun of Incendiary Spade if he doesn't pick Hugh de Kaiser. So.
Hugh Hudekaiser? Okay, that's cool. Peapot would like to say that there are no picks, and that the very first band coming down as Fiddlesticks is quite hilarious. Stop it.
Yeah, maybe save it for the last one just to taunt a little bit, but, you know, have a little bit of fun.
We will see here. Peapot is actually more hyper than he's letting off. He's just kind of sitting here, chillaxing. He does like to watch TV, so he probably sees himself. So who knows? Alrighty. Well, yeah, we see the Renekton ban as well. So they did not like. Was Renekton on their team last time?
No, Renekton. I'm a giraffe. Played Renekton top. He came in and did a lot of damage. He really actually kind of turned the game around for his team at one point. So we see Jarvan again and Misfortune again, and I still don't know how I feel about Misfortune. I don't know. I just don't know. And there's a Tark ban. They're gonna force him to play Lulu.
they're gonna target that Zep.
Maybe we'll see.
Even though Lulu did play very well. Yeah,
no,
maybe we'll see a Lulu mid against Fiddlesticks.
Yeah, we saw Lulu mid previously. It didn't work out so well, but hey, a Lulu mid and Soraka support, and then this kid might be out of supports. I just think it's a bad idea to target the weak player anyways. He's already out of his comfort zone. I think you should waste the ban on somebody more important, like Vi. Vi had an amazing game. That was that butt frustration? No, yeah, that was butt frustration. Or David is King. Which one is the jungle? I can't even remember. I am so sorry.
I'm getting spammed from Incendiary Spade.
Yes.
He's spamming Hugh.
He's giving the Mordekaiser Hugh. The evil laugh.
Oh, and we can see a first pick Vayne, almost an insta-lock, and it looks like we might see a Gangplank, which is one of my favorite champs.
Tuna is the support, so and I really haven't seen these guys switch champs amongst themselves a whole lot this tournament. So, but Frustration is the jungle. Did he play Vi? Yeah, he played Vi last game, so. And he was nothing but frustrating.
That's true. I have been frustrated many years of my life. It happens. Even the best of us get frustrated.
It does happen. There's the Lulu Draven pick again. I think Frozen is going to play Vayne in the middle lane. Sometimes I've seen Vayne top. I don't know about Vayne in the middle. Apparently that is the counter pick to the Hugh de Kaiser. Lord Voldemortekaiser.
Sorry about the issues here.
It's all good. I know you just want to look pretty for the damned.
That's it. I got a primp. He did frustrate my butt a few times. Zep looking like he's going to go Lulu again. So we'll see what happens there. They did ban Jarvan. I'm interested to see whether or not Frozen is actually going to go Vayne mid.
I wouldn't be surprised to see it. He's done some unconventional things. I mean, you could see maybe there's a swap coming in, and David is King will play Vayne top, because that's something that is, while not really common, is less uncommon than Vayne in the middle lane. So
I did get a Incendiary Spade messaged me and said that he can no longer Hugh because he was the Hugh was counterpicked by Vayne, so he may not actually go Mordekaiser. But if he goes one of many other champs, I think that the Vayne pick could be potentially really, really bad, because you're basically setting up Incendiary Spade with a really easy lane.
Yeah, and there's the Vi pick again. Vi could just come in on Vayne and just wreck her day. In the mid, it's a little easier for Vi to gank there than it would be if Vayne were bot lane. So we'll have to see if his play can shine through again. Or I'm sorry, this is actually the opposite. Killed you as Zach last game, so yeah. But Vi is probably a really strong pick against Vayne, because basically guarantees that you crowd control them. But Frustration is going to go Maokai. He's gone Maokai in previous games. has done a decent job as Maokai, picking up a lot of assists. So we'll have to see. I wouldn't mind seeing a trundle from him. David Ace King is going to play the King's son. OP, top lane, Garen.
There you go.
So, with teleport against Cho'Gath, so it's kind of a difficult. I mean, it'll come down to skill, but it can kind of be a difficult lane for Cho'Gath because of the silence. So, and the double silence. It'll be interesting to see. And Incendiary Spade is going to pick up Ezreal again, even though Caitlyn's not banned this time. So maybe he hasn't locked yet. Maybe we'll see him switch. I'm not sure.
We are getting some boos for Incendiary Spade. He wanted to see Mordekaiser, but I think he was afraid of the counter pick.
Yeah, well, yeah. Be a man. Do the right thing. Buy the purse.
Be a man. Do the right thing.
Yes.
Peapod does the right thing, and that is why he is off to bed.
Well, not all of us can be as responsible as your dog. I'm sorry.
That's unfortunate.
Killju has played Vi previously in the tournament twice, along with Hecarim. He did play Hecarim and went 10-2 in his first game as Hecarim with 12 assists, and that was with there's a video of that, and it was around the league in 90 seconds, I believe. So I don't know. I might try and find that and bring that up here while we're waiting, just because it was kind of hilarious. Nah, I'm not going to. I'm too lazy. Peapod has made me do the wrong thing.
Do the wrong thing.
A dog that goes to bed on time and doesn't do drugs is often a dog that is hard to come by.
It is true. He is a better dog than Scruff McGuff, and he likes to cuddle a bit more too.
Well, Scruff is just kind of big. He's not. Scruff can't be in your lap. I feel weird. I feel like I was at a dirty club.
He is a dick.
Oh, we have an Urgot locked in, which is kind of crazy. I don't know. Maybe this is what he was talking about. He was hinting at playing Urgot. Urgot's a champ that he can be pretty tanky. I mean, a lot of people don't know how he works, so he could rely on that if Hectix hasn't seen much of it. The long range allows him to poke and CS fairly well. So, I mean, he's a less common pick, but he's not something that's unreasonable, as you've seen in LCS matches. So.
Oh, yeah, I also like the Draven pick. I personally play a lot of Draven, so it'll be interesting to see what Hectix can do with him. But I'm a little bit worried for Frozen here, who picked into a tough lane into the Urgot. Well, it seems like you would want Frozen to pick last.
Right, and one of the problems that creates is Shrapnel already did pick Caitlyn, and Urgot was dancing around with Ezreal, but he ended up on Urgot. That's Incendiary Spade. That was my bad. But no, one of the things I wanted to point out is if you look, there is 0 AP, except for Lulu and Maokai, and their AP is really negligible when it comes to team fighting, unless you get something crazy like straight AP Lulu or straight AP Mao. But Lulu, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't really doing a whole lot of damage last game. She's really strong early, but she tapers off a lot late game if you build her support. So
yeah. And then, I agree. I think really the matchup that's going to define the game, if Incendiary Spade or Frozen doesn't take it away, is going to be that top lane. Is how devastating is Garen or Cho'Gath going to be later on in the game?
Yeah, one of the nice things you have is Cho'Gath does bring a lot of magic damage to the table, and Urgot is kind of like a hybrid champ. So they're both going to be doing a decent amount of magic damage. Well, there's almost none coming from YoloMid. So I mean, a little bit of armor is going to be able to negate this.
I am now listening to the Mordekaiser song.
I clicked on the link and I have saved it for later, but I do not want to play it over the stream. So
you could if you wanted to.
Should I play it over the stream? We only have 52 seconds.
That's true. It is a full 3 minutes long.
Did you say a 3-inch schlong? Is that what I heard?
No, it's 3 minutes long.
Oh.
Mine is 3 inches long as well on a good day. So really it's like 2 inches, but still.
It doesn't matter because today is a good day. Because we get to cast.
Today is never a good day.
Versus Niger.
Darkness Dragon says that's twice as long as mine. I highly doubt that. That would
Yeah,
make you
that would be a
punish.
fraction. That's crazy. We don't deal in fractions when we're talking about wang size.
We do. I deal in fractions. I actually deal in the lowest common denominator, which is mine. Let's be clear here.
I got nothing. No comment. No comments on that. We're about to load in here. Finally. Finally. Still waiting for the loading screen. I'm excited about the skin battle because, I mean, we don't have Candy Cane Fiddlesticks this time, so we will see Dryad Soraka again. But
yeah, we will. It'll be interesting to see what skins. Skins are my favorite part.
Skin is your favorite part? I've known that for quite some time. All right, there we are. We don't really see
Skins are my favorite part.
We see Dryad Soraka and Sheriff Caitlyn, Gentleman Cho'Gath, the kindly monster who will eat you in a second. And top lane we only have Heartseeker Vayne, who's really overplayed. And then we have Soul Reaver Draven, who's now almost, what is it, like a 1350 RP skin now.
Yeah. I mean, they're all like 1,000 RP because of they made him cheaper, but they made him all more expensive.
Right.
Thank you, Riot.
That is
regardless, Soul Reaver Draven and Heartseeker Vayne being very classy there. Well, really not that classy, but Divine Soraka, Sheriff Caitlyn, and Gentleman Cho'Gath.
But I mean, she's got reading glasses on, and she's reading a love note, a Valentine. So it's
from Mundo, correct?
I
think it's.
Yeah, it says Mundo Heart, and then
Vayne on the bottom. Yeah, so it's from Vayne. I mean, from Mundo to Vayne.
But I mean,
if she was wearing something like that, I mean, she kind of deserves all the notes she's gonna get,
but
right?
while scantily clad, we have to keep in mind that she is. There are plenty of guys in the Legion, or the League. I mean, the Legion. There are plenty of guys in the League whom she could take Valentines from. At least she's giving Mundo the light of day.
Let me give a formal introduction. Welcome, everybody, to the Legion of Legends.
Yes,
That's even hard to say.
I don't even know why I thought that.
I was going to make fun of you, but it's very difficult to say Legion of Legends. It just is.
There's too many G's.
I'm sorry, too many G's.
My client appears to be frozen. Do you have people moving on yours?
Yes, I do.
All right, I'm going to have to reconnect real quick. So if you want to talk about what you see, we'll make
Well,
this
it actually looks like we do see some level 1 play from both teams, actually.
Oh, man, hurry
How
up.
funny is that?
Hurry
we
up,
see
connect.
blue invading blue's jungle, and we see purple invading the other jungle. So both teams are invading on the blue.
Well, there's nothing. I want to see some dying at level 1, because if you don't die at level 1...
But Garen is actually going to his top lane. So he actually recalled and went top. So he's going to walk right into... No, he walked around it. You're missing a lot of good stuff here. They are in top Tribush, purple team is. And Garen walked the whole way around where his normal lane went and went deep into river where they are not and passed them all. So both teams have been lucky here.
I'm about to load in. There it is. All right. Yeah, I see Garen could have been in a lot of trouble there. They're just now realizing the other team is taking their own blue. I still want to see a confrontation. I'm really sad. So maybe we'll get to go to a game 3 and see some dying, some good old-fashioned killing.
We see bottom lane recalling right now to get back to where to get back and collect, and both teams are just going to swap blue. And the purple team did actually get to start Wolves, so I think actually blue team got to start Wolves too. So they are both right where they need to be.
Yeah, Maokai's cleared a little bit faster, but if I took a Smiteless and left some minions, so he's gonna have to go around and clear that. Whereas Mao cleared all of her creep. So we shall see how this plays out. Urgot is already winning the poke battle. I mean, it's going to be rough for Vayne with such a short range. She has a range of, is it 500? 450? Something very low. So she's going to have some trouble dealing with Urgot's massive range of over 3 inches.
Well, I think he picked Urgot specifically to give her a lot of trouble. So it'll be interesting to see whether she can keep her farm up and at least stay relevant, because we all know how Vayne is when she gets to late game. She can be a hyper carry, and she can be very difficult to deal with.
Yeah, that's one champ that you want to have if you're definitely going to carry. don't know. We'll see. I mean, it could be a bad decision, though, because Urgot is a little more tanky than Vayne late game. Actually, he's quite tanky. He has a shield. Here comes the double gank. We have a gank in on Vi, and the counter gank from Butt Frustration. But Butt Frustration goes into Vi, and they're going to target her. Bad decision. It looks like first blood is going to go to Urgot, and he might pick up a second. No, he's taking turret damage. That's a mistake, and he dies instantly to Vayne.
He dies to Vayne, and so Vayne will get that farm there, and Vi will go back to jungle. So even though there was a first blood, there is no real gold advantage, and Vayne will be able to continue to farm while Urgot is behind. And we actually see that Urgot is behind by 10 farm already.
Yeah, that was just I think a bad play on Incendiary Spade's part. He went under the turret, and there's the teleport in. He looks like he might even get the kill here. He pops his shield, and she's dangerously low. Vi's coming in from the side, but no, he's not even going to need her help. Is he going to get it off? Yeah, he does. It misses, though, just outside of his reach.
Just outside. That teleport, I think Vayne was expecting that she'd be able to, what do they call that, condemn the minion into the wall, and he would spawn condemned, or at least teleport and condemn. But that was not what happened, and she just barely got away with her life.
Yeah, I mean, Urgot did take a lot of minion damage in that trade, so did force her out of lane. He's got to pop some pots and heal up, but he's in an alright position right now. Well, like I said earlier, he went under the turret, and Vayne popped her barrier. That sounds really dirty, but that is what happened, and I will
Heartseeker Vayne had her barrier popped, and it was pretty brutal. It was not by consent, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I will switch the people in the lane matchups. Just give me a moment, please. Sometimes things are a little exciting when it looks like there's going to be a little pre-game show, pre-level 2 show, which I guess would just be a level 1 show.
Only so much time in the day, Agent Smith. Only so much time in the day. It looks like Maokai came back around with actually a really cool gank. But he's only going to really force Cho'Gath away. I've seen actually, maybe it was Butt Frustration. He was Maokai previously, and he spent a lot of time ganking the Cho'Gath top, and it ended up costing the game. I believe it was against Darkness Dragon.
I am not sure. I do not recall.
I don't know if it was the same jungle, but we have seen previously where Maokai's... we have Platypus saying that, can you switch the team names to the appropriate sides? I believe they are the appropriate sides.
No, they're not. I did not switch them or change the number. Got excited because I thought there was going to be some dying, but there was no dying. So
He does get excited. That is one thing that you can say about Mangrease. He gets... I don't know. Excited is the best term for it, I think. No, Darkness
really
Dragon...
the person to be managing this.
Darkness Dragon, I believe you were playing Cho'Gath, or somebody was playing Cho'Gath, and the Maokai came up and repetitively ganked the Cho'Gath, but since Cho'Gath is so tanky, and I think he even died a couple of times, it really cost him the game. We'll see if the same thing happens here.
Yeah, Draven's dealing a lot of damage with his Q, but Lulu's not there to help poke. She's hitting minions down, and I'm not sure about the decision because Caitlyn could be easily under half of her health if Lulu's poking instead of trying to weaken the minions. I'm not sure.
We do have to understand here that Zep, though, the Lulu is only a level 22. It does not have the same skill level as a lot of these other guys. I could not imagine playing in a tournament when I was level 2. Oh, and it looks like Vayne here is gonna die to this turret most likely.
And Vi comes in, and even though she takes the kill there, she keeps Urgot alive, which is much more important. It was a beautiful ult by Urgot to swap her. She has to get super close to be able to attack him, and since his ult range was nerfed, she played right into that.
Don't worry, Agent Smith, that appeal will always be there, but just for you. And for everybody else watching. Wink, wink. But not while Peapot watches, because that's just terrible.
Yeah, Peapot's a good dog, so we don't... I mean, that's why he went to bed.
That's why he went to bed. Nothing good happens after midnight, he said, and he got out of here quick.
It might even be nothing good happens after, like, 8 p.m., but...
That's probably true.
Lulu just popping those traps, whether strategically or not, I still like it. She's got to be careful. She's picking up a little bit too much CS for my liking here. She probably should just leave Hectix to his own design to farm himself away into the night.
We see a little bit of a lead for the Vayne here in the middle, and I have to say that's not what I thought I was going to see from an Urgot Vayne lane. But overall, we do see Purple Team have a marginal gold lead, and I think really whoever gets the first dragon will be the one that's in the commanding lead.
Yeah, I would say that lead is almost negligible because of the assist, and in comes the gank from Butt Frustration, and it forces a flash out of Incendiary. He needs to keep it warded, keep his river warded and play on that side. Even a good player can often make the mistake of not warding, so it's really essential. We see actually really poor ward coverage from Purple Team. We have a ward way back at their try. I think it's a little too early because you're not really going to be able to get turret dived that early. Garen's all the way top. Maokai can't do it alone until later on, so I'm not sure about that ward placement. I'd like to see a little more coverage in the river by both teams.
We'll see. I think that one thing I can say about the blue team here is Team YoloMid is I really think that they talked about it and they really worked between the jungle and the mid to put a lot of pressure on Incendiary Spade. I think that's something that they consciously did, and it looks like there's going to be. We'll see whether or not Vayne will die here, and he does. And it looks like Urgot's going to fall.
Yeah, that was not the best decision to... I mean, he wanted the kill, but he stayed under that turret just too long. He took like 3 or 4 shots. He got out, which was a great play, but Maokai had really good map awareness, made his way there, and picked up the kill. Still puts Urgot definitely...
Draven's going to come in here and pick up the kill, though. This is a big mistake. They're overstaying their welcome. They did this last game, and it looks like they're going to do this again. We'll see if Draven's able to come up and pick up the kill here. I don't think he's going to be able to get his spinning axes off. Oh, yeah, he did. So he may be able to finish this kill off.
Yeah, there are people up here right now on this Cho'Gath. This Caitlyn needs to pressure this bot lane as hard as she can. There's the ult from Garen. Cho'Gath is still alive and running. He turns to silence, but goes down because of the silence. Oh my gosh.
And Vayne is going bottom lane to cover for the bottom lane that's top lane. So it's a very interesting game thus far. Been pretty exciting, and I have to say, Team YoloMid has come out ahead thus far.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a great play for Maokai to be paying attention and to come mid and to shut down Incendiary. And then it was even smarter. Like, oftentimes you will see when a bottom lane is winning really hard, the mid and the jungle come down. But this time when the mid lane was kind of getting out of control, the bottom lane just went up and shut it down, which is something you don't really see a lot because it takes pressure off of a strategic region, which is Dragon. That's one of the reasons that there are 2 people in the bot lane to secure Dragon. And Dragon's gonna get another kill.
By a Hectix, it just shows how quickly a Draven can burst somebody down and really put them in a place where they don't want to be. But we'll see whether or not that'll maintain or whether or not he'll kind of tap out. Yeah, and bottom turret does fall first.
That is a good trade, or not the most ideal of trades.
Incendiary Spade does another move that's really questionable here, especially with a Lulu ult. See if Lulu does get the shield down, and Incendiary Spade falls.
Yeah, Viagon is able to come in, and this time Caitlyn comes up. So and Cho'Gath is down. They're gonna stop this Lulu, and I think they're gonna dive her because why not? They're so tanky. Caitlyn's in behind, safe and sound. Well, Vi tanks the turret, and there's the kill.
Maokai's coming down, and I think going to catch Vi in the jungle here, and may get another kill off.
Yeah, don't like the decision of Vi to take that kill off of Caitlyn. I think the fact that Draven already has 2 kills, you want to see Vi get fed, and then they kind of just bail on her with 5-on-2, and I think that they could have made something happen there. Maybe not though, because Draven comes up. But yeah, it was a good role reversal. We see the exact same thing that YoloMid did come out of Team Niger, so it was a great play. They did take bottom turret before that whole fiasco took place, so that gives them the gold lead. And I was gonna say, while all the trading was going on and Caitlyn and Soraka were pushing bot, that's one of the things you need to do. If you don't follow them, you got to push bot, and that resulted in the turret, which is giving them the slight edge that they have right now.
I agree with that, but one thing we also see is that Cho'Gath is just farming alone up top. Now, he's not ahead of Garen, but he was substantially behind Garen before Garen decided to wander down. So he was able to gain some ground, and he has a teleport, so maybe he'll be able to make an impact later on in the game.
And this is a kind of a tight position, in my opinion, for Niger, because if Vayne is going to get kills on anybody, she's going to pick them up on people that are not the Diamond player. And so anytime like team phase is initiated early in this game, and there's a lot of wards going down that bush, but team phase comes out a little early in this game, and we see because of that, Vayne might be able to pick up some kills. It looked like they were positioning for Dragon, but we have Cho'Gath coming down, so that will give the advantage. Now that they have lost their top, they do need to take this turret. And Caitlyn's out of position right now.
Caitlyn's out of position, but so is Vayne, I think, in a much worse way. And it looks like they're going to get Vayne. I don't know what she was doing out there, but she is going to die. And it's going to be a Dragon for Purple Team because of it.
Yeah, that shows you how afraid they are of her because, I mean, 3 ults were burned just to kill her. We saw the ult from Urgot to swap positions, the ult from Vi to hold her there, and then Cho'Gath, I mean, he uses his ult to stack, so I mean, but still, it's an ult's an ult, and then he teleports up top and he's going to push back out, so he picks up a kill, which kind of evens him out with Garen.
And I don't know whether or not it's planned or not, but Vi is picking up almost all of these kills for the other team, so this may come back to bite them if Vi is shut down later on.
We'll have to see. She's definitely a champ that, and there's the ward that needed to be there like 3 kills ago, 3 ganks ago, but it's finally there, and it saved him a little bit of pain here, because if he were to swap there, I know it's on cooldown, but he's been swapping without watching where the enemies are and getting himself caught out. So yeah, but Vi, I was going to say, is definitely a champ that when she gets a little bit, I feel like Vi snowballs a little bit. Not quite like a Riven, or a Garen, but she definitely is a snowball-y champion. She just gets so tanky and deals so much natural damage. Her base damage is crazy that she can really do things like the turret dives that we've been seeing out of them already.
That's true, but it's at a certain point, the 80 carries here will be able to chew through pretty much anything, and we also have the ult of Garen, so I think that if they build a little bit of armor, they can pretty much shut down Team YoloMid. But until then, it'll be very difficult if Vi is their only person getting gold and she goes all tank. And we also see, though, that Caitlyn is farming bottom lane, farming Draven by quite a bit, even though she's not been involved in as many team fights.
The 2 kills, though, that Draven has is really keeping that lane close. So not a whole lot of difference there. We see that his Lulu has taken 11 CS, which would put him even closer if she hadn't. So, and most of that CS, yeah, I know she's roaming and taking some here and there, but I did see her take a lot of CS in the lane when he was farming there. Whether by mistake, I'm sure it was on mistake, but still.
Garen just running into 4 people here, not giving a shit. We'll get to see if that turns out good for him. But no, I think both teams are kind of hesitant to engage because there have been some good fights going either way.
Yeah, we're within 1,000 gold here. The 1 turret for each team. A Dragon is that 1,000 gold that belongs. There's the Maokai flash into his root, and his ult goes down, and all kinds of craziness is happening. Vi dives into the zones, and this looks to be in Purple's favor right now. I'm a Giraffe in so deep. He goes down to
Cho'Gath goes down first, and it looks like they're chasing the wrong player.
Yeah, that was really bad.
A big win for Team YoloMid. A big win.
We saw, even though Lulu got the kill, which was a mistake, but it happens, she was able to whimsy Urgot as he went in, and Urgot went in as a rabbit under turret. Vayne flashed away, and he just kept going. He's just being a little greedy right now, and I think he just needs to play passive and do the damage. His team has a superior poke composition right now, but they're going to lose a mid-turret because of this.
I think that I don't necessarily know if he's being greedy or he realizes that he has to carry, but then the early kills did not go down on him, so he's not able to carry like I think he thinks he should.
You know, I think that he like you said, he probably feels like he has to carry, but I don't know that that's an accurate assessment by him, because Shrapnel was an extremely lethal AD carry in the bot lane, and I'm a Giraffe has played phenomenal games top lane. So I think that if he just does what he needs to do, shut down Vayne, pick up a few kills here and there, and play his game, then I think he'll be okay. But I think his over-aggressiveness, he's died twice under the turret, and he's given up 4 kills already. And neither of these Diamond players actually have. They're both 2 and 4 right now. They both have 107 CS, and so it's extremely close game as far as they're concerned. But yeah.
But I think that's just indicative of that type of mentality where they have to carry, they have to farm, they have to kill, and that's why he's diving as a rabbit under tower. And we actually see Vayne go down bottom and pick up a turret for pretty much free, and they didn't even actually get mid turret in return.
You know, they're just a little bit hesitant right now, and I'm not sure. Hectics went top to farm this. That was really their opportunity when there were only 3 people there, and they kind of putzed around and nothing happened.
I think they'll have another opportunity here just because they have a Cho'Gath, but Cho'Gath missing pretty much all of his skill shots there. I think they'll get it down anyway. Yeah, it does. It looks like without the Draven, they can't really do too much. I think that's a mistake. I think that farm, you got to let that farm go to protect them in the tower.
Yeah, one thing that's interesting about this game is because each team has 2 essentially AD carries, that there's going to be a lot of towers dying relatively quickly as we get more into the mid game. So I wouldn't be surprised, like one slip up, one time being out of position can result in a tower downed extremely fast.
If we look at the mid tower of the other team, though, it is down to 235, so they'll be able to take that, whenever they really want to. And so really losing that mid turret wasn't that big of a deal. And having the fact that they have their top tower is really what's giving them the advantage now.
Now, Hectics could be caught out here on his own. I think they realized that they weren't going to go down there, but then they saw him show up in lane minions, and there are 4 people there, and I don't think he could get out of this.
I think he's dead, yes.
Soraka doesn't go around to cut him off, but it doesn't matter. He flashes away, but she comes in with her ult, and there's the swap. It doesn't really matter that it was kind of a bad swap. He still picks up the kill for Caitlyn, finally giving her a kill.
Yeah, they did take mid turret while that was happening, though. Probably not a good trade either way, though.
Yeah. If they keep pressuring here, and well, yeah, they probably should back off because there's 3 coming down, but they do have a man advantage. They catch Garen in this push, and here comes Cho'Gath to close in from behind. So if they target properly, nope, they're just going to back out and take Dragon. And that's a good choice. I mean, they give up the turret, but they get a kill in Dragon because of it. So the turret, like you said, was already low. It was probably doomed to go, fated to go down, I would say. That does open up a lot of map possibilities.
And really, there is 100 gold separating these 2 teams. I would say that there is a little bit of a better team fight here on Team YoloMid. But that Urgot ult is very situational. It can be very deadly, but at the same time, as we saw against that Draven, there's really no reason to use it right there.
Yeah, are they gonna? They're gonna go up and take this top turret. I was gonna say we're not gonna see a 20-minute Baron. That would be craziness. But no, they're just going to come up and take this top turret. And
I think that the blue team, Team YoloMid, should push mid really hard.
Yeah, I agree. That would be the proper response.
They're coming up top to defend a tier 1 turret when they're really out of position. Now they're being indecisive. It looks like they are going to push mid tower instead, which is pretty good. I think that Team YoloMid actually has the faster tower. The faster, I don't know what you call that, base race composition.
Yeah,
so,
I would agree with that statement.
Hopefully we see one right here. That would be interesting.
Just straight up base race right now, be out of control, and it might happen. They might go for the inhibitor turret, and this is bad for. This is out of control right now. I can't believe this is happening. It's gonna happen. And at 21
they have to go back and defend this because they can't deal damage as fast as a Vayne and a Draven. It's just not going to happen. They will lose the game right here.
And even though there was hesitation on YoloMid's part, they were able to take down 2 turrets and an inhibitor there. And so just a really bad judgment call.
And they're going to lose their blue buff on the way back through. I think Team Niger thought, hey, we're going to catch them out of position. They're going to be mid. They're going to be backing, doing whatever, and we can take top turret. And then they saw them push. They made the second bad decision as to maybe we can push faster than they can because we're already here, and they ended up being way behind.
No, I think one advantage they have is that they do have a better team fighting composition because Urgot's a little more tanky. He does a little bit of AP damage, whereas Vayne is really... I mean, they're going to have 280 carries, so just if they can burn down those 80 carries really fast, they're not going to be a whole useful. But to let them push turrets like that was just a fatal mistake, and it could come back to haunt them.
Yeah, there's only 400 gold separate, but they're going to have to deal with that mid lane pressure for quite a while, and it might help them to secure objectives and make team fighting a little bit easier for Team YoloMid.
Yeah, I mean, those two turrets being down just opens up a ton of map control. All that YoloMid has to do is pressure just a little bit, and they control the entire map. Throw down some wards, catch them out, because I mean there's no turrets to worry about in the mid. So if you throw down some wards, you can come in from any angle you want and really start to pick these guys off.
We have Bearcat, Golfer, and Agent Smith talking in the chat, and Agent Smith had 2 towers for 2 and an inhib, bad trade. And Bearcat said mid towers are better than top towers. I agree with that, but that's not even mentioning that they took a tier 1 tower and a tier 2 tower, and their inhibitor tower is still up. So that was an extremely bad trade, not just, 2 towers and 2 and an inhib, because they still have to go through that last tower to take that inhib if they feel like it.
Yeah, and you can see the results of that right now. I mean, 4 people have to go into the jungle to give Caitlyn his ult, or Caitlyn his red buff. So like that's just they have to be afraid now. They don't know where anybody's at on the other team. Their ward coverage is really poor right now, and I think that's one thing they can improve. The goal is only 200 apart now. But yeah, if they make another slip up like that, that easily the game could end, especially as the AD carries get more fed.
We do see Blue Team YoloMid getting out of position here, though, and they could get caught. All it takes is for Draven to get ulted. I don't think they know how tenuous the position that they're holding here right is, because Vayne and the Maokai are in the middle lane, pushing that CS out, and they do have a ward. They do see this going on, so really all it is one bad slip-up could cost either one of these teams pretty much the game at this point.
Yeah, they're both really afraid to split up, and I can't say I blame them. Although I wouldn't mind seeing. I mean, a lot of lanes are pushing right now for YoloMid to send one person bottom might not be a bad deal. And
Vi gets caught out here. I don't think it'll be enough though. I think she gets away and gets the Vayne ult to Brock as well. We get a flash from Incendiary Spade. He was going to try to ult Frozen back into the tower.
Yeah, he's been making good plays with his ult since, I mean, he's making plays his ult under his own turret. He's got himself caught a few times. That would have been a really safe position to ult from, though, because his team's on the wrong side. And Vi's going to go in on Vayne, and he's going to get, she's getting rooted down by Maokai, and she barely makes it out alive. But Garen is going to chase her, and that takes him out of a team fight, which is really a bad idea, but it doesn't really seem to matter right now. Jace chased Vi down, and two other team members from Niger chased after, or I'm sorry, Garen chased Vi down, and 2 other people chased Garen down. So really, like, Garen took himself out of the team fight, and then instead of capitalizing on it, they really hurt themselves there.
I agree 100% there. I also see in the chat, it says, let me see here, there was something interesting I have. Say, oh, Sorceress says, why do neither support have Ruby Sightstone? You usually see supports ditch Ruby Sightstone when they're forced out of lane phase early, and I think that's what we have here. They were in lane phase. They do have the Sightstone, both of them do, but at what point do you upgrade it when you leave lane before even 20 minutes have passed?
Yeah, after that exchange, though, Draven's trying to get really scary for this for YoloMid right now. He's got 4 kills, 162 CS. He's a little behind Kate in CS, but he just has so many kills and 5 assists. Vayne's not really getting a ton of kills, but she's still doing some work. She's picking up a lot of assists, whereas Incendiary Spade's not really going anywhere right now.
It seems like Vayne is basically on Peel Patrol because she goes after Cho'Gath almost every time, and I think it's a conscious decision because she has the Blade of the Ruin King. She does deal quite a bit of damage to him pretty quickly, and Lulu does whimsy him every time. So I think that it is definitely a concerted effort, but we'll see if they get caught out here. That would be pretty devastating if they did.
It's going to be interesting to see. Both teams are converging on Dragon right now, and Maokai is on the wrong side of the jungle. Nope, it just seems like they're going to back off. I don't even know if Purple's going to defend this. Soraka is too busy warding Baron, and that could be a bad decision. Yeah, they can't contest it, especially not without Soraka.
Well, I think that Soraka warding Baron was probably the right decision for her, but the wrong decision for the team to not at least pressure and be grouped around Dragon to say, hey, you can't take this for free. Either way, we are seeing Team YoloMid picking up some gold, picking up some kill, and picking up some momentum. Let's just hope they don't get caught in the jungle here.
Yeah, they do really they really have a lot of momentum right now, like you pointed out. I mean, that's really important to note. They're only up 1,000 gold again, but they just seem to be team fighting better right now. They're making better decisions. Like you said, Vayne is consciously peeling champions off of Draven. So.
And Draven, as you stated before, is getting dangerous. Look at the bottom tier 2 tower. It is getting poked down a lot. This global gold is going to help them when they go back and buy. And really, Team YoloMid can't do much about it because they have an exposed inhibitor and a top lane that's pushing.
Yeah, again, that all goes back to that first push. It was just a risky decision. It didn't pay off. I think that they see that Niger is split up, so I think YoloMid should just try and take down that inhib and buff up their minions.
Yeah, I really think they have them between a rock and a hard place here, but it doesn't look like they're taking advantage of it. They could be doing quite a bit of damage here. They could be taking the red buff. They could be clearing their jungles. They could have pushed that bottom tower and just killed it straight up. Cho'Gath did have to come top, but it seems like they're content just shoving the mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure about the decision for... is it Hectix? Yeah, Hectix was taking Wraiths, and I thought maybe he took red buff, but when I checked his buff, it was over halfway gone, so he didn't even go take his red, and I think that they could have had a free inhibitor had they grouped up and just shoved really hard. Oftentimes, when things don't work, you just shove it hard.
There you go. That's been my motto for the past 10 years, and it's gotten me everywhere. But really, I don't like how Team YoloMid is split constantly in the jungle. They very rarely, if you look at purple, you see this nice cluster, and even though they have been losing team fights, you see Team YoloMid just split in all different directions. Like if there was an engagement right now, they would be woefully caught out of position because Draven is there busy taking a red. So they really need to kind of get together and not get caught out separated in the jungle.
Yeah, but this comes back to the up, and there goes in Garen. It looks like he wants to initiate. No, he disengages, but Vayne goes in. Lucky she doesn't get swapped by Urgot again, but I think that would mean he died. Vi dives into Frozen. He's so dangerously low right now. He does go down to Incendiary Spade, picks up the kill. There's a bunch of flashes, and just so much tankiness. Nobody's going down yet. And Urgot, it looks like, yeah, Incendiary Spade does fall to Draven. Caitlyn picks up Garrett. This is just out of control right now. This looks like it's finally a fight in Niger's favor. Yep, but frustration goes down on the double kill on Caitlyn. Now they went from a position, and there's the ace from Vi. But I want to point out they went from a position where Draven was 4-1. And Caitlyn was 2-0, and now Caitlyn's 4-0 and has considerably more farm, has even assists, and now they pick up the Baron, and that was just a bad fight. Like you said, they weren't grouped properly. Garen went in, and then Vi found an opportunity and just melted Frozen.
And it looks like they're going to take Baron here as a result. This is basically what they did not want to happen. And it looks like Cho'Gath will finish off. Oh no, Vi gets the smite off on Baron, and that is huge. That did shift the game completely into Team Niger's basically wheelhouse. Now they can just push and win like they have been. And I think it was because of that split that I was talking about moments before that fight started. They just did not engage as a team. Vayne rolled in to pin Vi against the wall, which was a bad decision. There was a cool Urgot ult that switched positions with Vayne, put her further out of position, and it's going to cost him this game.
Yeah, and Urgot can afford to do that because he's so much tankier than Vayne. He's not a true tank by any means, but he's beefy enough that he can get away with it. But I was like, when you were saying that, I was gonna point out that the reason that Niger wasn't capitalizing on it is because their lack of ward coverage in their own jungle. I like to see wards placed here at this bush and here at this bush and maybe back here, and that gives you like a really good like presence of the whole jungle. Then throw one or two on this side and you're really covered, and then you can really see like, hey, you know, Draven's up here taking red, we can go in and kill him, because that fight could have been even more decisive had they had wards and caught one of them out.
And that's scary because the fight was pretty decisive as it is, but I agree with you. They could have pretty much aced them right away. But instead, they decided to catch Vayne a little bit out of position. But we do see how dangerous Maokai can be with that ult. Even though they had 4 people still alive, it still took them forever to kill the remaining 2 players. So it'll be interesting to see if they can come back and deal the damage they need to. But Vayne cannot be caught out like she was that last fight.
Yeah, I mean, these champions, they just have so much health right now. Cho'Gath's at 3,500 or... Yeah, 3,500. Vi has quite a bit herself. She looks like she's at 3,000, over 3,000. And so, even Urgot is over 2,000 right now. So, I mean, for an 80 carry with 2,000 health, that's not something to scoff at, I guess. Plus, you gotta remember he has the gauntlet, so he has the ability to kite. He has the armor from the Glacial Shroud. And, yeah.
I think there does need to be a focus down on Urgot or on Caitlyn. One of those two, whoever's easiest to get to. And I think Garen can do a nice job peeling for that. He can go in and silence somebody. But they really have to execute flawlessly this next team fight because Team Niger is getting a huge gold lead.
Now, if you look right now, Niger can see that, hey, there's two people from YOLO top. Like they need to push and go and do something with this Baron while those two are out of position before they can recall and get back. Because even though they don't have wards, they saw them push the lane. But Cho'Gath just goes back. He's in his own jungle, and I'm not sure of the decision making there. I think that they need to do something with this Baron buff because they're still at 13 kills. They're ahead, but it's only marginally at 34 minutes.
Are we going to see another base race type of scenario here? It looks like we may. They're going down to take tier 2 turret on bot lane, and the other team is pushing directly into the base.
Yeah, that Cho is humongous. He might be able to hold out. He shouldn't even be next to that inhibitor. He might be able to slow him down enough that they're just going to back. It would have been neat to see, but I think that's the right decision. And
once again, you see a push by Team Niger that turns into an inhibitor for Team YoloMid.
Yeah, I mean, YOLO saw,
and another turret. And we have to remember that Team Niger has Baron here. So they should be bringing the fight to the other team, but they can't because of that first inhibitor they gave up early game.
Yeah, they need to push down that mid lane and stop letting YOLO bully them around. They have Baron buff. It's almost expired. Is it? It is very close to being expired right now. And let's see. That's Elder Lizard.
Yep,
yeah,
Baron just wore off, so it won't be up for their push, and they are not that far ahead in gold at this point. And they have an exposed inhibitor, and it looks like Vayne is going to catch somebody out. And it does not look like this is going to be a very good fight here.
You know, Maokai's doing a great job of zoning out Caitlyn. It looks like he's going to get caught. No, he flashes through Caitlyn. Will she get her ult off? Yeah, she does
get the kill. Once again, this is just another instance of Vayne being way too over-aggressive. They should have grouped and they should have engaged as a group, and they would have killed both of them for free. But instead, they end up giving up 2 kills.
This was definitely YoloMid's game to give away. They did it. Their first step to their decline was when they were split up in Niger's jungle, and Niger made a play and made him pay for it. And then, after Niger let Baron wear off, they got caught being aggressive again. That is a giant squirrel, by the way. Only three people were in that fight, whereas everybody from Team Niger closed in on it. So I mean, that was
it was a 2v5, a true 2v5, and they really cannot give up this tower here. It puts them even further behind.
Yeah, until that point, they did a great job. When Niger tried to push a turret down, they did a great job of taking the inhibitor and forcing them to take pressure off and making Niger waste that Baron buff. But Baron is about to come up here relatively soon.
I also see that bottom lane is pushing really hard for Team YoloMid, and we do have a few players backing right now. I think really the only saving grace is that they got back soon enough to that their inhibitor is still up. So I still think this is Team YoloMid's game to lose, even though they're behind by 5k in gold. Really, you just gotta hope they don't throw anymore.
Yeah, I think that what they need to do to to come out on top in this game is they absolutely cannot engage in a direct fight right now. They need to be able to pick people off. Like, Vayne is just chunking. I'm a giraffe. He goes down. Frozen picks up a kill, and that's what needs to happen. Now she needs to back off, and they need to keep pressure on different lanes and keep Niger split
I think they
up.
can take this bottom turret. Their whole team is there. This may be them really far out of position, and they're not going in. They're content taking this turret, and it looks like Vayne going to get caught out of position again. But there is no Cho'Gath. There is no tank here. Draven does have his ult up and does do a lot of damage.
Yeah, Draven's running away, though. Nobody's even zoning him. He needs to get in the fight. Garen goes in too deep to try and kill Soraka, which is a bad decision because Soraka already has so little effect on the fight, especially if she's already healed and used her silence. So, I mean, he should have just left her alone, and it gives away a free kill. But we noticed that Draven was really afraid of dying, even though there was nobody there who could have killed him at that moment. He ran a little too far away when I think he should have turned around a little earlier.
It seems like Draven and Maokai don't understand exactly how much damage they can do, as opposed to basically there was 2 dead players and a Vi there. I think they could have probably aced that team, and instead they showed a lot of indecisiveness.
Yeah, what looked at first like it was going to be a huge win for YoloMid turned into just, I mean, it's still a victory, but a small one. You have to take small victories to get back into the game. I think that they had the opportunity, though, for a huge victory.
If they take Baron here, it'll be huge, but I honestly think it'd be a mistake if they tried to rush Baron because they don't have any way to take it. They don't have any way to deal the damage needing to be done, especially with Draven backing for who knows what reason.
Yeah, it was a good decision to not go in on that because Purple knows something's up. Niger saw that they cleared the ward and they're going to go in. They want to check it out. But the fact that they're backing now, while they drew Purple in, or they drew Niger in to check Baron, and now they're all backing. So that could have resulted in Niger taking a free Baron. And this again comes down to the fact that nobody has any idea what the other team's doing because the wards are just so bad. Well, I guess that's a lie because
Team YoloMid has pretty good ward.
Great
ward coverage in the opponent's jungle. And their bottom lane's pushing, so they should go to take Baron right now because they can see Caitlyn in that bottom lane. But we look at Team YoloMid, and they're concerned with other objectives.
Yeah, they just need to keep this Team Niger on their feet, and yeah, just keep shoving lanes. Keep them bouncing back and forth, catch off one person here and there, and just pressure. And then at one point, if you catch them with their pants down, you just can go right in and back.
It looks like we might see a team fight right here, and this is a terrible place for them to be. And it looks like Soraka might have just given this game away, and Vayne gonna get the kill. This is gonna be devastating.
You know, I would have to say that this fight is a direct result. Those are big branches. This fight is a direct result of the fact that the wards in Niger's jungle allowed YOLO to know that Cho'Gath was out of position and so was Caitlyn. And they ran into the other jungle and just...
They need to shift bottom lane and take this tower. I agree with you about the ward coverage. They knew where everybody was, and they decided to camp in that bush and take it out. And I think this is the beginning of the end for Team Niger, and it's hard to believe that I'm saying that.
Yeah,
they should back off at Baron here, I would think, after they take top tower.
Yeah, we have about 20 seconds left, so it might be that would be a good decision. They have to be careful though, because that Baron can throw games so hard because everybody's gonna be back up by the time they get there. Cho'Gath is gonna be very close to popping up, and they're gonna go in and engage. And if anybody from Team Niger dies, they're in trouble. There's a dangerous swap from Urgot, but he flashes back out, nobody dies, and yeah,
now they have all 3 lanes pushing with all super minions. I think they can go back and take Baron freely now, because if the other team tries to contest it, the minions will just win.
Yeah, right now, I mean, the only hope of winning, maybe a steal on Baron, but even then, if you steal Baron and one person dies, like, it's still 4-on-5 with Baron without turrets. It's really risky.
There is a ward in there, but I don't think they see it.
There it is. Finally, they see it. Here comes down a ward from Morocco, but it doesn't go over the edge.
But it was on the wrong side, and there does get a knock-up on Vi, and it looks like they're going to take Baron.
She gets the knockback, and she's not able to jump in.
When Vi gets caught again, and this is lights out.
Yeah, you cannot get caught in the middle of a Baron fight unless something goes horribly wrong for Team YOLO.
Urgot goes down first, which is a lot of damage.
There's
And,
an ult
oh.
from Caitlyn onto Garen. Not a good decision. She's trying to kite
She
desperately.
just spammed it. Yep, and it's going to be
She
GG.
does pick up the kill. The chill goes down.
Niger.
And Vayne and Draven just do too much damage, and we're gonna go to a game 3.
And this is what I had mentioned previously about whether or not Team Niger had the damage late game, and you see the Vayne and the Draven really cut through the tankiness that was Vi and Urgot.
You know, it went back to when you were talking about how they were in the jungle when the momentum shifted the first time in favor of Team Niger, and you were saying that it's because if you look, there's a nice cluster of purple, whereas blue is more spread out. Well, that shifted at the end of the game, and YoloMid took advantage of the fact that they just weren't grouped up.
I have no audio on you yet again, sir. So you have to unmute yourself and restart your statement.
I was just going to say that it does seem like this is the first game, the game 3 that I will be casting, and it seems like I honestly have no way to predict who could win this one.
Yeah, this is definitely the closest series we've seen. Even in the other game 3 that we got to see in week 1, it still wasn't that close. We've seen some people get caught with backdoors and stuff, but this was just both teams had very decisive wins. If I had to give an edge, I would still have to give my edge to Team Niger, because even though they took the momentum back, I guess it was at the one point YoloMid's turn, like YoloMid's game to throw, and they did, but then Niger threw again. But I just, for some reason, I felt like Niger played more cohesively. They made a couple of simple mistakes, but who knows what can happen.
Exactly. I think that's what that last game came down to, was simple mistakes. We saw a good competitive game. The problem was when it shifted the one way towards Team Niger is because they were in the jungle and not grouped. And then when it shifted the other way is they were in the jungle and they didn't have any vision. So you see that costs people games a lot of the time. So I think that we'll see maybe a tighter game from Team Niger this time around, and I think probably a win.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that if Niger just wards, I really feel like they have the cohesion as a team. Like, they play well together. They have good, solid players that respond to each other well. I think that if they ward their jungle, have wards freaking everywhere, that they will be an unstoppable force. But who knows? I mean, the lack of wards really give you a lot of map control. And when you don't have map control, you can't make plays.
I think we saw some great plays out of pretty much everybody, though, in that game. The AD carry Draven was really good. He did a lot of damage, especially from the mid towards the late end of the game. He was carrying a lot of the fights, dealing a lot of the damage. And then Vayne, towards later in the game, was catching people out, condemning people against the wall. And then on the other side, we saw some great ults by Urgot, and we saw some great ults by Vi, to be honest with you.
You know, if we see a more normal mid champ out of Incendiary Spade to counter Vayne, like I'm not even sure who, but maybe somebody with quite some range, a little bit of mobility, like Brand maybe, or even I don't want to say a Kali because I feel like the being within Vayne's range is very dangerous. But I feel like there's a lot of champs out there that maybe he could have taken advantage of Vayne and actually like put his team in a position to win, because Incendiary didn't really. I mean, he did a decent amount of damage, but it just wasn't what you need to carry. Urgot is by no means a bad champion to play, but if you come down to the sole person who has to carry, I'm not in a lobby. I have to relog, having some issues. But if it comes down to where the team relies on you to carry to win, I just don't think Urgot cuts it in that respect. Not the way Fiddlesticks does, or Karthus. So,
I think that they probably could have gone with any traditional champion like Ahri or anybody that does that kind of range damage and really messed up Vayne in the mid lane. But it seemed like Frozen knew what he was doing or she was doing. I don't know. I don't even know. And really kind of put the screws to Urgot.
Yeah, I think, like you said, Ahri would have been a phenomenal choice. high mobility, good range. I mean, just anything like that. And I think they could have abused the fact that Vayne has such a short attack range and really shut her down and had a really strong AP to help carry your game.